Well, hello. How are you? I hope good. Woo! Never thought I'd have to make this video. But I try to be a man of my word. I'm rocking my Justice League t-shirt because I remember in November leaving the small town that I was working in with a friend who is currently my roommate. We traveled all the way to Edmonton, my hometown, because the small town I worked in and was living in didn't have a movie theater, and there weren't any good movie theaters around besides Edmonton. And we made that faithful trip to West Edmonton Mall to go see Justice League. Justice League. I've done some YouTube videos on my YouTube channel about Justice League, about Zack Snyder, about Release the Snyder Cut, and they're there. And if you want to have some time and listen to a random middle-aged Canadian man ramble on about his love and disappointment of the DC Cinematic Universe, I welcome you to do that, because that's the way it is. I mean, people call me Reed. I am RVD, the Dudar, your friendly neighborhood Canadian. This is my amateur YouTube channel that's been around for over 5 years now. Better camera, better sound thing, microphone, ball, thingy. Anyway, it is May 20th, 2020. And, I was planning on, maybe doing an update on the whole Captain Trips virus thing, pandemic, that no one's allowed to talk about. But this is something that needs to be brought up in this video because of the recent events of the last 2 months of Captain Trips changing the world, Hollywood, shutting down production on everything. We're now in a place where HBO Max and Zack Snyder this morning on a Vimeo live stream of watching Man of Steel, at the very end, I guess, announced finally the rumors that many people had been talking about for years. But the last couple days, especially, the rumor mill heated up with Release the Snyder Cut, rumors, speculation about, is it finally going to happen? Are things going to be resolved? What are the issues? How much is done? And there's all been speculation for months and months and months, and even a couple years, about, does this film exist? Is it a real thing? We're not going to get into the whole Zack Snyder issue. Like, fundamentally what you need to know is this. When Zack Snyder was filming Justice League, Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice came out, the theatrical version, and it didn't go over as well as anyone had expected. It wasn't the movie many of us thought or hoped it would be. And there are lots of reasons why that happened. Some of it was a bad script, some of it was bad stories, some of it was Zack Snyder being delusional about his own ego and his thoughts about what the DC Cinematic Universe was and what Batman was and how he didn't know what Superman was, and we can go on and on and on. But a couple things that for sure affected Batman v Superman was Warner Brothers' decision to not make it a 3-hour movie. So the 2.5-hour movie came out. Even though I loved it, I saw it opening day with my friend Mark. Saw it twice opening that weekend in March of 2016. And I loved it, but I'm a big DC guy. I'm a big DC superhero comic book guy. And back then in 2016, I was very still pro Zack Snyder. I'm not anymore. It's 2020. Sometimes you gotta wake up. But back then, I was still pro Zack Snyder. Anyway, so Warner Brothers not letting Batman v Superman be the 3-hour cut that eventually came out on Blu-ray, DVD, 4K, the Ultimate Edition, which is a much better movie. If you've never seen that version yet, even though it still has problems, some of the story, some things in that movie still don't work. Script issues, dialogue, character motivations, stuff like that. problems with Zack Snyder's movies in general. But if you like Zack Snyder and you like superheroes and you like DC, I mean, you owe yourself to watch the 3-hour version of Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice, the Ultimate Edition. So they were filming Justice League. When that came out, they're over in Europe, in London, and originally Justice League was supposed to be 2 movies, 2 parts, part 1 and part 2. They filmed for over a year. They were filming for over a year. And then in 2017, awful family tragedy happened with Zack Snyder. Lost a child. Had to leave the project. Now there's rumors that he was going to be fired from the project because people, the mass audience, the movie-going public, not the internet fans, type, I'm an internet movie expert. No, you're not. You're a Snyder-tard. Type, I'm an internet guy. I watch Collider 2017. I'm smart. No, you're not. The movie-going audience who pays the money to go see movies, the massive amount of them weren't on board with Zack Snyder's version or his vision of the DC Cinematic Universe, okay? Batman v Superman should have been $1 billion movie without even dropping a sweat. It came close. It was like $800 and something million worldwide. But it's Batman and Superman, the 2 most iconic superheroes of all time. Anyway, they threw in Wonder Woman, they threw in Doomsday, they rushed the death of Superman, blah, blah, blah. Then Justice League happened, they're filming it, Warner Brothers isn't happy, yada, yada, yada. The mass audience, not the internet fan, Zack Snyder is a genius. No, he's not. People who spend money on movies, the fans, the movie-going public, they weren't on board. So Warner Brothers, with the timing of, the tragedy and everything, Zack Snyder was removed from Justice League, and they brought in Joss Whedon, and then Warner Brothers tinkered around, and Joss Whedon was supposed to finish Zack Snyder's vision, but then Warner Brothers executives got in the way, and I, to this day, think Justice League should have been 2 movies. Part 1 should have been Zack Snyder's, everything he did for Part 1, and then they should have finished Part 2, Joss Whedon's take version, Warner Brothers interference, and that would have been better than the 2-hour Justice League movie we got. And because the Justice League movie we got in November 2017, that was the problem, because that movie was even though I enjoy that movie and it's entertaining to me, I'm a superhero guy. I'm a DC Comics fanatic. DC over Marvel all the time. But Justice League has its problems. And it's a mismatch of a movie with different tones. And you can tell the Joss Whedon stuff versus the Zack Snyder stuff. So anyway, because of that, and the fact that Justice League only made about $620 million worldwide, another huge comic book property that should have made more money, the backlash against Zack Snyder, his vision, his version of a dark, edgy DC universe, which didn't make sense because, Batman doesn't kill people, and why isn't Superman really saving people? He's not a beacon of hope. He's a mopey alien. Right? Like, it was, Zack Snyder had issues originally with DC superheroes. He didn't understand them fully. This became the release of Snyder Cut, underground movement that became public, internet, Twitter. Like, I'm a Twitter guy. I've been dealing with release the Snyder Cut trolls. I call them trolls because that's what they are. Most of them are brain dead zombies who are like, Zack Snyder is a genius. He isn't. If you're a Zack Snyder fan, like I was, Dawn of the Dead, 300, Watchmen. Boom. That's the Trinity. Sucker Punch was garbage, and then Man of Steel, even though it had lots of good things, when you look at it now, 7 years later, you go, why did Man of Steel, why didn't Superman save anyone but Lois and his mom? Zod's plan was kind of stupid, yada, yada, yada. Why didn't Superman, there's lots of problems with Man of Steel. I don't care if it's John Campia's, one of his favorite superhero movies. John Campia's wrong on Man of Steel. It's not one of the 10 best superhero movies of all time. Watch it now. There's problems. So anyway, yada, yada, yada. Release the Snyder Cut is announced today. HBO Max, this new streaming service that is going to take over. Remember, DC Remember the DC Universe, DC streaming thing? Yeah, that's not even a thing anymore. Everything is going to go to HBO Max. HBO Max is going to help fund Zack Snyder's $20 million, $30 million project to get his vision of Justice League, the Zack Snyder version of Justice League, finished. And there's a lot of things that had to happen. There's a lot of things that still have to happen, but it's going to be released sometime on HBO Max this year. So that's crazy. I think. Hopefully this year. I hope I read that right. That's crazy. I hope it's not 2021. Do I have to look at my phone? I don't think I have to look at my phone. Anyway, so it's official. Release the Snyder Cut is happening. Now listen, I'm a superhero guy. I'm a DC Comics guy. But Zack Snyder did a lot of bad things. So with HBO Max needing content, needing something exciting to bring people in because of the Captain Trips pandemic that has shut down Hollywood production for the last couple of months, there's not a lot of stuff going on. And I think that helped convince the people at Warner Brothers, who recently was taken over by AT&T, and a lot of the people in Warner Brothers who made stupid decisions regarding Dawn of Justice and Justice League, a lot of those executives have been removed, fired, replaced. AT&T taking over Warner Brothers wants to make money, and AT&T realizing that DC Comics and all the great superheroes of DC Comics that shouldn't be altered for gender identity politics of the day, of this time. Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, you have the trinity of superheroes. Make money off them. So, Zack Snyder showed his vision of the Snyder Cut, which is apparently between 3 and 4 hours long, sometime this weekend to Warner Brothers, AT&T executives. They liked it enough that they're like, okay, let's do this. What do you need? So Zack Snyder has to finish special effects work, finish some scenes. He's got to bring in the original actors, Henry Cavill, Ben Affleck, Gal Gadot, Jason Momoa, Ezra Miller, Ray Fisher, maybe Jesse Eisenberg. Who knows? To film, record dialogue, maybe film some stuff. Who knows? But anyway, Zack Snyder is getting $20 to $30 million to finish this project and to finally get the Zack Snyder Justice League version many internet fans have been dying for, which is fine. I would like to see a new version of Justice League. I just don't think Zack Snyder's vision is going to be as perfect as everyone thinks it might be. But who knows? Maybe it could be. We've seen spoilers about it. I've done a 3-part... I just think it's exciting to think that finally this is going to happen. And Zack Snyder... I want to be a Zack Snyder fan again. I do. I just think he screwed up Superman, and I think he really screwed up Batman for a lot of it. He made some good choices with casting, but Zack Snyder, man, I don't know what it was. Why do you rush the DC Cinematic Universe? Man of Steel should have had we should have had a Man of Steel 2 before Batman v Superman. We should have had a Ben Affleck solo Batman movie before Batman v Superman. And then Batman v Superman should have been more about Batman versus Superman, not Lex Luthor's stupid plan playing puppet master behind the scenes that, depending on which version of the Batman v Superman movie you watched, you were like, oh, this is a stupid plan versus, oh, this is an okay plan. Batman... there are lots of problems with Zack Snyder's films. So I don't know if his version of Justice League will be better, but I'm willing to give it a shot. And Snyder has his devoted fans, who I call Snyder-tards. I do. I'm a bad person. Because you can like Zack Snyder and admit he has flaws. Snyder-tards don't do that. Release the Snyder Cut. Trolls, zombies, don't get it. They're just like, Zack Snyder's a genius. He isn't. There's no guarantee the Zack Snyder version of Justice League is going to be better. I mean, sometimes a longer movie isn't always better. And listen, I'm Mr. Dances with Wolves. I'm Mr. Lord of the Rings extended cut. I love long movies. But sometimes a movie can be too long. I don't know. But do I want to see a 4-hour version of Justice League if it's a thing? Probably. So, it's exciting news. I never thought this would happen, to be honest. I thought it was a pipe dream. So, yeah, you know what? I'm excited. Think it's a good idea. It's smart for HBO Max to get some content. Like, so many people are passionate about release the Snyder Cut. They literally don't have to promote anything. So many people are going to join HBO Max. So many people are going to sign up just to see this version of Justice League. Just to see Zack Snyder's version of Justice League. To see what could have happened if the people at Warner Brothers were smarter. If the executives at Warner Brothers weren't so worried about their bonuses for Christmas time in 2017, they could have released Justice League better. They could have released it into 2 movies. Because apparently, there's even a 5-hour cut of this movie. There's that much footage shot by Zack Snyder. Because remember, when they went over to London to film Justice League, it was going to be 2 movies. And they were filming for a year. A year. That's a long time. Most Hollywood movies, blockbuster movies, 4 months to 6 months. Special effects driven Marvel movies, that's the time frame. Lower end movies can be anywhere from 2 months to 3 months, depending. He spent a year there, so of course there was lots of footage not used. Of course there was so much stuff not used. And whatever happened with Joss Whedon and all that, there's thousands of YouTube videos talking about that. But Release the Snyder Cut with Zack Snyder's version of Justice League is finally happening. So, I mean, fans should be happy, but cautious. Be cautious. Because this movie could still have a lot of problems. Now, what does this mean when it comes out? It means nothing. Zack Snyder's done with DC. DC's done. Warner Brothers is done with Zack Snyder. That version. The DC Cinematic Universe is its own thing. And who knows? Wonder Woman 84 should be amazing. Eventually they want to do Aquaman 2. The Batman with Matt Reeves. Who knows if that's going to be good? Who knows if that's going to be part of the DC Cinematic Universe? Unless it's going to be like an Elseworld DC Dark thing like Joker was. Who knows? But maybe we get a Man of Steel 2. I would love to see a Man of Steel 2. I don't want Zack Snyder anywhere near Man of Steel 2, but I would like Henry Cavill to continue being Superman because I think he was awesome. And that was genius casting. So maybe Christopher McQuarrie, the guy who's helping revigorate Mission Impossible, he's gone on record and said he would like to do a Superman movie. I think that could be interesting. I don't want J.J. Abrams anywhere near anything related with DC. I know they signed him to a big deal. J.J. Abrams is a douchebag. J.J. Abrams helped to ruin Star Wars. We don't need to get into that. We don't need J.J. Abrams anywhere near DC or anywhere near Superman. But someone who's passionate about Superman, who understands the character, who wants to work with Henry Cavill, that would be amazing. Anyway, Zack Snyder, May 20th, release the Snyder Cut. It's happening. It's going to come on HBO Max at some point. They don't know if it's going to be a 4-hour version of the movie, or there's rumors it might be like split up into like 4 or 5 different chapters. Who knows? I think if once Justice League comes out, when it's finished, when it's ready, release it. 4.5 hour version. People are going to watch it. People are streaming it at home. They can stop it. They can go to the bathroom. They can order a pizza. They can go for a walk. Come back. Continue watching 4-hour version of Zack Snyder's Justice League. Who knows? But ultimately, I'm going to say good news because maybe it'll be good. Or maybe it'll suck. I don't know. Anyway, that's my thoughts. Canadian guy in quarantine, self-isolation because of Captain Trips. Yeah, man, I don't know what happened to Zack Snyder. I don't know what happened with Zack Snyder after he did Watchmen, which was the greatest R-rated superhero movie of all time. So don't tell me I'm a Zack Snyder hater. I'm not. I'm a Zack Snyder realist. I don't know what happened. And then Man of Steel, yeah, like, I remember loving Man of Steel, but then, you know, as time goes by, you go, why didn't he spend more time being Superman? Why didn't he save more people? How did he always know where Lois was? Why couldn't have Zod terraformed another planet? Like, why did Jor-El put the Codex? Like, lots of stupid stuff, right? Batman v Superman, same thing. Lots of stupid stuff. How did Lex Luthor create Doomsday? How did that even happen? Why did he cut off his finger? Like, so much script story issues. Hurts your brain. And then Justice League, who knows? But we're going to find out. So when that happens, I'll be watching somehow. Probably get HBO Max. And then, who knows? Later this year. We'll see. But anyway, it's a big announcement. I figured I'd do a video. Cheers. Like this video. Make a comment. Disagree with me. That's fine. But Zack Snyder's Justice League is finally happening. May 20th, 2020. Crazy. Good job, HBO Max. HBO Max is going to be an amazing streaming service. And, yeah, it's too bad. Whatever happened on the Justice League set, whether it's Zack Snyder, whether it's people, Warner Brothers, interference, all that stuff, because we lost the greatest Batman we've ever had in Ben Affleck. That would have been amazing. He was going through some life problems. I mean, Jason Momoa's Aquaman, Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman. They proved in solo films, without Zack Snyder, they're better off. Ezra Miller probably won't be the Flash because apparently he's crazy. Ray Fisher, Cyborg never should have been a part of the Justice League. He's a new Teen Titans. He's a Titans guy. Like, give me a break. Maybe we get to see Green Lantern. Maybe we get to see Martian Manhunter. Maybe we actually get to see Darkseid. That would be exciting. Anyway, maybe more Deathstroke stuff. Breaking Lex Luthor out of prison. You know, who knows? Maybe we get to see Superman in the dark suit getting confused and all that stuff. I have faith that the Zack Snyder version of Justice League will at least be better than the version we got from Team Snyder, Team Whedon, Team Warner Brothers, who screwed it up. Anyway, thanks for watching. That's my video. Cheers. Happy Wednesday. Cool. Rejoice. But let's not go overboard, because remember, Zack Snyder did a lot of bad things to the DC Extended Universe. Anyway, cheers. Thumbs up, thumbs down, whatever. Subscribe, tell a friend. I'm crazy. Canadian. Woo! And be safe. Stay informed. Captain Trips. Just do some research about it. Figure it out. Is it really about safety? Or is it about control? Cheers.